Good afternoon, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. We have a very special race today. It's Ragnarok and JazzRaptr, battle of the 2 and 2s. Both are runners looking to avoid that last chance qualifier here in week 5 of our Swiss race. I'm joined in the booth with Kustuin. Correct?
Nope, that is not correct. That's Kunti Kustuin.
My apologies, man. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today on the commentary booth. We have MG Weirdo tracking the scene for us, the action, and I'm going to get the gates dropped here so our runners can get going. So, Kustuin, how do you feel about this party comp right here? We got Fighter, Thief, Black Mage. None.
Triple Man stats pretty much says that these guys want to get the levels up as quick as possible. The thief over on Jazz's side will probably go down for most of the fight and be a two-man party, building up the fighter for the big matches. As far as Ragnarok's probably going to do the same, and it seems like things are just going to be very quick. Hopefully, let's just pray no nuke counts.
Yep, so these racers, they decided to go with 4 forced, so they didn't modify the flags or anything. They just decided to go with whatever party the seed gave them. So it looks like the seed gave them the none. And Ragnarok, and here we go, we're underway. So we want to see some good early black magic, but we're going to check the white just to see what that knight will have access to when he's promoted. And Ice 3, Fast, and Quad X, wonderful magic. And
trash cleaner there with Quad X.
Yeah, Quad X is really good. It is an instant kill spell on any enemy that does not resist the death element. As long as that enemy has 300 HP or fewer, it will instantly kill it. So that includes all of the fiends except Chaos. So if you're firing off nukes at Tiamat or Kraken and you think you're within 300 HP, but your nukes are low rolling, you can just throw out that Quad X if you're feeling smart with your math. So here we go into the Temple of Fiends. Let's see what's in our first 3 boxes. We're looking for a loose canal and some early money. So we get the early money there, about 5,200 gold for Ragnarok. He's going to be able to buy spells with that. A white shirt is really nice. White shirt casting Invis 2, which will help solve our white magic problem. As you can see, JazzRaptr on the right side of your screen just used Quad X to maximum effect for killing Garland.
And it seems like Garland gave up a crystal and a canoe from the princess and the king.
Those are both really good items because Matoya's Cave right around the corner. We can go flip around the Canarian Peninsula. Ragnarok having to do some creative pathing to get around the bats that are blocking him from Princess Sarah. So now JazzRaptr is going to head back and pop open those boxes and get his white shirt and money. But we can pop right around the corner, talk to Matoya, go through her 3 boxes, and see if she's holding onto our loose canal. Or maybe some more money, maybe another loose item. And these flags here in the Swiss tournament, we're looking at a guaranteed 2 loose items plus a loose canal. So in theory, 3 total loose items that we need possibly to complete the game. Loose and treasure chests around the world. I say possibly because we could have a Thor hammer, a power gauntlet, or the opal bracelet in those incentivized locations because they are added into the pool.
Now, I want to point out that with that canoe, I mean, they don't exactly have to go to Elfland if they don't want to. They can go straight for Crescent Lake, as well as going up towards Ice and Volcano if they decide to.
Absolutely, that's an excellent point, Cuse, because we actually this week, our 5th week of Swiss, we're revisiting It was just a random element, but for the week it rolled fire. So that red D chest, that treasure chest on the carry floor of the volcano that holds the flame armor in the vanilla game, has been incentivized and will hold a key item, whether that's required for progression or one of those 3 pieces of gear I already mentioned. Will be determined.
And Ragnarok had just turned into crystal and found the bottle. Unfortunately, it's going to be sitting there for a while. Let's hope that Red Knight actually remembers he had.
Yeah, you never want to see somebody accidentally pop that bottle when they're menuing around for their heal pots. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of runners in this community, and you're flying around the world. You're looking for, where the heck did I miss a chest? I thought I found 2 loose, but I'm missing the rod. And you pop that bottle at the 10-minute mark and forgot all about it, and the fairy's just sitting there. So it can be a bummer. So you got to be careful when you're menuing through your items.
Indeed. Well, right now Red Knight is giving Binky and his pirate clowns a run for the money, and it seems Jazz right now is playing around.
Yeah, Jazz, a little bit behind Ragnarok here, having to double back to Temple of Fiends. So I don't know what he was hoping for off the King and Princess that made him not open those boxes, but it cost him a little bit of time. I mean, it's still way too early in this right now to consider either of our runners ahead or behind.
To our tracker, can we get a chime highlighted for Ragnarok, as well as a bottle, and a bottle for Jazz?
Yep, and I'm going to work on seeing if I can get our runners in sync here. Ragnarok stream about 7 seconds ahead. I don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to start pushing buttons behind the scenes on Speed Gaming and destroy the stream. So just know that Ragnarok, his stream is about 6 seconds ahead of JazzRaptr. So I'm grateful that we have the actual on-screen timers here to watch what these guys are doing. So level 2 magic, I saw a wall.
I also saw a temper in there as well.
Ooh, thank you. I missed the black magic. The wall is going to be nice in case we don't find ribbons, and with it not sharing a slot with anything else, that night we'll be able to have 4 charges of wall throughout the Temple of Fiends Revisited, should we promote early enough, and should we have those levels for it. So low level temper and fast, that's perfect for this kind of party comp, Q.
But there's a little fly in the ointment right there. Fire 3 is sharing a slot with temper, so
yeah,
you kind of have a which reward do you want kind of mantra going through your head.
Well, I think our runners will both pick up Fire 3, keep that in the first slot, and then put Temper in the second slot, and then we'll use Fire 3 as we're clearing through dungeons, especially Ice Cave or Earth Cave. We'll use that fire to great effect. But once we get into the Temple of Fiends, we probably won't be using that too much. We'll be relying more on needing those temper charges for buffing up our fighter or ninja when we promote.
Well, Ragnar right now just got some bad news on the level 3. The only thing I've seen on there that was worth a flip was lit 3. The rest of it, sorry, but rub ain't much, especially against Brack and Bang.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, rub you'll only typically buy that if it's the only instant kill option or only possible option at level 1 to take care of Garland, and then we'll see a rub pickup and somebody probably just pop a tent outside of Temple of Fiends and just repeatedly try to rub Garland. But if Lock was available, Lock is a really useful spell as it lowers the agility or evasion of an enemy and it's guaranteed to hit. So 2 casts of Lock will undo an entire evasion stack from Invis. So Lock and Lit 3, pretty good. It's expensive. 10 grand for both those spells. That's going to be a lot. And still no sign of our vendor item. And the ogres and trolls look like they're giving Ragnarok the business as he's trying to get over to Crescent Lake.
Well, as one of my old college buddies said, nickel and diming wins the game.
Yeah. I always like the expression "in for a penny, in for a pound." So if you commit to a couple boxes early on in the dungeon, might as well open the rest of them, right? Especially on that volcano floor with all those boxes that are not too far from where Ragnarok is.
True. Also picking off easy fights. I mean, if I were to be running, I wouldn't be so run crazy. I mean, in all honesty, because I mean, the more levels you got, the more chances you got of tearing apart chaos, and that returns the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the early game, you'll see a lot of runners running from fights because they want to get to these key item chests as quickly as possible. And the XP that you're going to get off overworld enemies isn't great, but I agree to a certain extent. Like when I'm playing a party, I'll try to take as many early fights as possible just to get to level 10 as quickly as possible. Level 10 is my comfort zone, my safety blanket for exploring the world. Level 10, I'm not afraid of going anywhere, especially if I've got some sweeper magic in which we do. So if I can get to level 10 before I go into my first dungeon, I'm a happy guy.
I couldn't agree any more than that. I mean,
yeah,
level 10, yeah, level 12, definitely.
Yeah. All right, and what do our grumpy old men have? They have a crown. So it's going to be, look at this. We got, Ragnarok stream. He's technically probably about 6 seconds behind JazzRaptr here, but both of our runners on the wrong side of the world to do that crown turn in. You think any of these runners go to volcano or ice before turning in that crown?
I probably would. I'd probably go ahead and do volcano. Just, I mean, literally, you've got to find the canal somewhere. You may as well just go ahead and hold on to that crown right now. See what's up. What's up in the armory. See what's in the ice cave. Then, if it's not there, hope and pray that Astros has it, or you're going to be making a dive into Larscape.
So Astos, I agree with what you're saying, and a lot of runners will do that. I like to follow the key items. So if I'm in Crescent Lake and I get the crown, I'm going to go back to Astos just in case Astos has either the key or possibly the floater. If it's one of those two, like where you would be so much farther ahead than somebody that dove into the volcano.
I was thinking that, but I was also thinking the amount of distance that you're having to traverse. I mean, if you're having to traverse that far, I mean, it's like I said, risk reward. I mean, literally, this is a game of ratio.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And Ragnarok, you could see as he was exploring all the different quadrants around Crescent Lake, and there's our key from Astos. So huge swing here for Jazz if Ragnarok doesn't go here, as that's going to get a lot of boxes for him to open, including these three right here. And he's going to pop out, save it, and then walk back in. It looks like.
Yeah, because there's a ambush talent that is right there, to enter that door.
Yep, there's actually two different ones too that we can check. So if there's something spicy here, like 3 eyes, or there's a Bane Sword. Bane Sword is wonderful to have right here. And Blue D's nice to see, but lots of good experience on them, but they're pretty hard to kill.
These guys are good for low levels. I mean, the Cerberus are like easy pop.
Yeah, and Cerberus are good because they're weak to ice, and that is our sweeper at level 1. So I wonder how many fights Jazz will take here on these. And you can see that they're resisting the fire. I would have kept going with those Bane strats. Bane, pretty effective against them. And that's what he does. Okay, heads up play there. So Ragnarok, we got route divergence. He is headed to the volcano. And he popped the bottle. So At the
Off the
13
bottle, yes, but let's just hope that Red Knight is keeping notes. As fast as he's moving right now, I would say probably not.
I hope he remembers. So if he gets early floater here, I'm sure he will remember. However, if that floater is buried, he may forget, just because so much time could have passed between those two checks. And
Looks like Jazz is taking the bridge boss and heading towards dwarfs. I'm wondering what's going on there. Except for there being a bunch of chests in there. I mean,
yeah, we have 10 boxes here to open up between the 2 free and the 8 in the key locked room. So pretty good chest density, good odds to find something useful, if not more money to go back and buy that early magic.
Now, I've noticed that when it comes to dwarves, a lot of people prefer to have multiple items in their inventory to drop to basically make a one drop into the worth.
Yeah, you don't want to come in here a lot if you can avoid it. And he does get rewarded with a pro ring and a good amount of money as Ragnarok into the Volcano Armory digs up a gold bracelet. That's the best armor our mages can equip until we get either the black shirt, which Ragnarok just finds, or the opal bracelet. The black shirt and the gold bracelet have the same amount of absorb. However, the black shirt also gives the black wizard resistance to ice and time, which is huge because those late game Temple of Fiends bosses like to throw around Zap, and Zap is a time elemental spell. The only things that resist that time are the black shirt and a ribbon. So huge pickup there for Ragnarok. Alright, so Jazz going to continue doing these key locked boxes. Ragnarok going to do a little lobster grind. It's a bold strategy, Q. Let's see how it pays out for him.
Hey, he's got ice 3. He's able to confirm that the lobsters right now are not taking too well to getting put on the seafood special platter. And well, you know, it looks like it did.
Do you see what I see?
Oh yeah, I see those eyes.
They're
Yummy.
This is the best grind tile that you could find in the game. These eyes have a remarkable amount of experience to give. We don't have a ton of key items in our inventory to really maximize it, but you can see 4,600 XP and we're even rewarded with a house. So we're not far from the entrance. We can come in and out of here. They give us a ton of money. So even if we just spend 5 minutes here, we'll get up to like the mid-20s, get our in-game levels basically, mid to early 20s, and have basically the seed laid out in front of us. So I'll be curious to see what Jazz does here.
On that one, I'm going. Whoa, that was a double eye towel there. That's definitely a plus there. And I'd just like to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the key and you have a lot of mass cleanup. I mean, literally, these the trash right now is looking like ragdolls.
Yeah.
Would you just go ahead and just dive marsh just to see what's there? I mean, does it itch the back of your head?
You're asking the wrong guy, Q. I would go to Marsh as soon as we had the opportunity, just because not a lot of runners will. It's a 5-minute time commitment to open about 10 chests that are spread pretty far out. But if one of those boxes holds something, oh buddy, like we just gained about a 20-minute time lead in. Jazz heading back in. Ragnarok wiped out on the Argoyles that had Glare. Glare, another one of those time elemental attacks that will instantly kill you if you're not wearing a ribbon or a black shirt if you're unlucky. So I do want to give a shout out to Speed Gaming Deutsch joining us with the raid. Thanks for coming in. You're watching a Final Fantasy Randomizer race. Here, our 5th round of our spring tournament. And this is a 2-2 race. Ragnarok taking on JazzRaptr. Both runners coming off very difficult schedules Ragnarok took on the the reigning spring tournament champion Crabcakes just 2 weeks ago and took her 2 minutes. Like, he was within 2 minutes of her finishing and nearly pulled off the upset, actually beat her into the final dungeon. So Ragnarok, rather new to the community in the past 6 months, but coming on strong, coming into his own. And JazzRaptr, another newer player, joined the community around the same time Ragnarok did, and really kind of coming into his own. Past 2 weeks, he had Dangwoo and Lord Fizzlebeef. Dangwoo now 4-1. Lord Fizzlebeef sitting at 3-1 this week. Gonna be like those both tough matchups. Both kind of took them to the wire. So both runners here looking for that third win to propel them.
I hate to cut you off.
Innings. Sure.
I believe that Ragnarok is also a Legend of Zelda randomizer runner. I just had my mind just cue off. I believe this guy is actually pretty darn good with Legend of Zelda.
If he is, that's news to me. I've never heard him talk about it, but hey, he could be. Ragnarok, pretty fun guy to hang around with in the Discord. He's super active. JazzRaptr also getting more active in the community. They are, both of these runners, participating in our side event with the Iron Gold Heavy Metal Championship, which is just a kind of just for fun throughout the year. Racers can challenge each other. There's a ranking system. You can move up and down the rankings, and if you become the #1 contender, you can take a shot at the title. And the current title holder right now is Spellzap. And both of our runners are actually making this an Iron Gold ranking match, so double implications here. As JazzRaptr clearing out the Canarian Armory, excuse me, gets rewarded with a Mage Stick and a Light Axe. That's our first decent swingable weapon for our fighter. We did just put the Mage Stick on the Nun. I hope JazzRaptr realizes that he doesn't have anyone in that second slot to use that Mage Stick. So,
well, it more than likely will be figured out here pretty soon when he goes to try to use it.
Yeah. Like, hey, where did I put it? Oh, it's on the empty spot. So Ragnarok cleared out the armory, didn't find what he was looking for. Looks like we're heading back to Crescent Lake to regroup. And JazzRaptr gonna do the Grogers with Cremate. That's kind of spooky scary, but you can see Jazz's levels are phenomenal right now. For being 20 minutes into the game, and he's leveled over the timer, which is the dream. If you can keep your levels in sync with the timer, you're golden. And he's 21 minutes in. I think he's like level 22 or 23 across the board. Sitting on 143,000 gold too. So
you gotta be thinking. No, is he just really just that hard for the be able to get freedom from the sea? Is he really just wanting that canal right now just that badly that he's literally going to Marsh Cave? That's where I'm seeing. That's literally what it looks like right now.
That's where he's going, and Ragnarok taking the long walk up to Astos. So we're going to see Ragnarok covering Jazz's ground as Jazz explores new areas for us. And he knows that I rolled this seed, and typically when I rolled seeds, something goofy ends up in Marsh or the Earth Cave. So they're playing to the booth right now, Q.
You know, that's what I keep saying. I've said time and time again. If it's the most hated place in the game, people who build these out are going to hide something there.
Oh, if only I had the actual ability to hide something somewhere. That would. Gerwolves with mute. That's more annoying than bad. We won't be able to use magic to get through this fight. Luckily we can run. So if that was an unrunnable fight, that's not good.
It would have been a long fight. I mean,
we would have just reached it probably.
I don't believe there would have been any deaths or anything, but it would have been annoying.
And Ragnarok's going to try to take out this Blue D fight If Blue D's rolled up in HP, this isn't going to go well. Blue D's punch really hard, and they hit real hard. And luckily, he's able to get the runoff. So he gets away with the key. We're just going to save it. He's doing the exact same pathing. He's going to go up to dwarves, open those 10 boxes. All right, there's a ribbon in the top of Marsh. And the fun thing is that ribbon in that particular box, in that left-hand side box, to the second floor as you're going into the Marsh basement. So Jazz could actually reset here, save himself the walk back out, dive back in, go to the Marsh split south, and in that central room that you walk past to get to the Marsh basement, he could open that box, and in that box would be that ribbon. So, again, that's one of those things that, not that JazzRaptr is that new to the game, but it's one of those things that you might forget about in the moment. And I'm sure he knows those chests are linked, but luckily he didn't take a nasty encounter there as he was trying to walk out. So,
as many of the chat have informed me, even the most experienced veterans forget items. So,
oh yeah, yeah. See that room right there that JazzRaptr's walking past. In that room, that treasure chest in there would have that same ribbon from the left side bottom room of the Marsh top.
So basically, it's just a Java style reflection.
Mm-hmm. And there's even more on this floor. This first room shares a box with this bottom right room, which shares a box with the third row all the way to the right. So those 3 boxes are all mirrors of each other. So you only need to check one of them. You don't need to check that top one. People usually check this one because there's another box in here. So this right-hand box that he's about to check would be the same box as in the first room. There's another ribbon. Good Lord. So Jazz is probably sitting in his room just laughing because I rolled a seed and Marsh has got all the goods. And we've got all this caster item. We got the mage stick, we got the Zeus gauntlet, we got the Bane sword. Jazz in a really good position here if he can leverage this early exploration advantage. Now, if the canal is down here, or any sort of other, 2 ribbons alone is huge. And Silver Knife, it's fine. So Jazz going to come down here and do the key locks as well. So Q, you talk about early dives into Marsh, and one of the ways that it's most lucrative is if you have that early key. So getting the key from Astos is going to allow you to check these 3 locked boxes, and you really, it kind of like you talk about gnawing at the back of your head. If you come in and check Marsh without the key, and then like 10 minutes later you get the key, it gnaws on the back of your head that like, no, what if it's in one of those 3 rooms?
I've played the vanilla game enough times to know about those locked doors. And literally, I used to quite literally grouch about Squaresoft's decision to basically make those 4 doors locked, because you have to have the key, but you have to have the crown, so you got to go in there twice to be able to get to be able to go in there and find little junk in the vanilla game. But in the randomizer, I can see where that could be rather lucrative.
Ragnarok is about to get real excited here. Finds his third eye grind. And we'll see if he spends about 5 minutes here doing these checks as well, or how long he'll actually spend here.
Now, I did take notice that we don't have a white mage, and we have limited healing. I know that the knight will be able to learn 4 levels of magic, but are we seeing basically a seed where basically the heal helm might actually be a prize item?
We might see our runners value a heal helmet or a heal stick, but I think more likely we'll see our runners just constantly in the shops buying 99 heal pots. So courtesy of our tracker, we did see that we'll have Cure 2 and Heal 2 for our knights when we promote. So heal 2 is pretty good. It's not as good as heal 3, and so like that will help mitigate out of combat healing. So instead of spamming heal pots, heal 2 will heal about 50 to 60 HP across the board. So in one click of the button, you're basically feeding 6 heal potions to your entire party. So much faster than spamming those heal pots. Ooh, and here goes, it looks like Rag is going to set up a 2-person grind with the fighter and black mage. Going to get rid of that thief and get. So he's committing some time here.
I believe that's a sound play. I mean, you definitely you don't have the healing the healing capabilities of a white mage. You don't even have a red mage. You have a lot of offense. You want to basically make yourself a HP wolf.
Yeah. And Jazz is out of the marsh cave, so no canal, no loose progression, but 2 ribbons and a Zeus gauntlet. Gonna go far. Gonna carry him far with the levels he's got. He's now in a much better place to survive the volcano with those Glare 2 Argoyles. If he so chooses to go there, he might go right to ice, which would be an interesting.
Looks like he's going for ordeals. No, wait, he can't go for ordeals.
Yeah. He would probably love to go to ordeals right now.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Wait, we haven't found the canal yet, and literally, you know,
Temple. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to cut you off.
Really, honestly, I can see where these guys could be getting irritated right now because I mean, Marsh didn't have it. The boxes didn't have it. I'm gonna go out on a limb, say ice.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you too. I think it's going to be an ice. I don't know if our runners are irritated because this eye grind is going to feel so good to come out of here, and you could already see Ragnarok's levels catching up to JazzRaptr's. Okay, it looks like he's like 18, 19 across the board on JazzRaptr's side. Still, real healthy levels. And we got Cheesenator in chat. Good to see you, Cheese.
Greetings.
And yep, and there is Ragnarok's level 19. So getting caught up. It's a shame. The best weapon we have that fighter to swing right now is a light axe, and I don't think that light axe is going to be enough to melee these down. So we're going to be relying on that black t-shirt and our Bane sword to get through these eyes. It will get it done. It's just not as efficient as it could be. But
hey, wherever it takes to grind up. I mean, literally, you're talking to somebody who played Final Fantasy 14 for a good 7 or 8 years, and let me tell you. Grind for everything.
Yeah. Jazz does get that gold bracelet, so getting all these items that Ragnarok left behind, I wonder if Ragnarok will take these levels into the Marsh Cave just like Jazz did. He will be rewarded with the 2 ribbons that are down there. But that's not where our canal is. That's not where progression is. It's either here in the volcano or where you and I think it'll both be is in the ice cave.
I just have this sixth sense feeling that basically it's going to be in ice. I mean,
okay. So which box in ice do you think it's going to be in? Let's play this game. I'm going to say it's going to be in the bottom middle of the 6-pack at the damage tile room.
I'm not going to be quite that accurate, but there's three boxes in a hole just 2 steps below the third box. I think it's going to be one of those.
Okay. So then one of the trolliest places possible in the last 3 boxes. That's where you're calling. Okay. I like your style, man. I think either there or in that chest in the room with the 2 boxes where the frosty spike tile usually is, maybe in there. But I think it would be the only other trolley place where runners most often skip those 2 boxes.
Hey, these seeds aren't made for ducklings. These seeds are made to challenge our competitors, and the only way you can challenge them is by making them have to go through some real tough areas.
Yeah, you are not lying. These flags can be. I mean, if you've been watching and following the spring tournament, I'm sure you've seen some really great races that were under an hour 20 minutes, or maybe even under an hour 10 minutes. We've had some dynamite times put up, but we've also had some 4-hour seeds with some 2 to 3 hour seeds. We had one seed that went 4 hours, but when newer runners hit these flags, they can be pretty unforgiving, and even when our vets hit them, they can be very unforgiving. The bosses can scale up to 230%. The enemies can scale up to 200%. All their scripts and skills are shuffled, so you might see something super common like a mummy with ambushing mute into nuke, and that's just what you got to deal with, and those mummies are going to be everywhere. And the rich get richer. You gotta love it. Finding all 3 ribbons under 40 minutes. Jazz gotta be happy.
Jazz is definitely ahead in the gear department. I mean, ribbons are literally a must-have for any hope of going into a Topher and not having to have basically a 5 to 9 stack of life or life team.
And the rune sword, big pickup there for Jazz is Thief. That's one of the best swords a thief can pick up. And Jazz does have an ice sword on that fighter. I'm curious why he's keeping the light axe equipped. I wonder if he just hadn't noticed that, and he's just. Sometimes you get tunnel visioned. You get tunnel vision into your seed, and you miss something that's sitting right in front of you in your menu. As Ragnarok making the ice play, gonna actively avoid the 3 ribbons, which might come back to bite him. Alright, so we've got 2 boxes left that this canal could be in for Jazz. 1 box left. Alright, and Ragnarok preparing to descend the ice cave.
I think Ragnarok's making a very wise choice.
Yeah, I mean, it'll pay off for him. There's going to be an incentivized item down here, and thank you, Speed Gaming, with the big raid. You're just joining us just in time. Both of our runners in a good spot here. Both found the early Third Eye grind tile that got them some great early levels, and Jazz about to show us what's in the volcano incentive as Ragnarok is exploring the ice cave. At this point, we know the canal will be an ice cave. We've checked every other box. But if this incentive here, it's the Oxio. I was going to say, if it's the floater, we don't need that canal. But we need that canal probably, unless Ice Cave's got the floater.
Well, we're about ready to find out what Ice Cave has to offer us, mm-hmm. And I'm kind of. There isn't much. There's not much of too many more areas where our canal or floater could be.
Yep. So we don't have warp, so we got to do this the long way. 4 zombies, not a bad find here either. We got the light axe, we got the mage stick, and we've got fire 3. We can make pretty quick work of these zombies. And Jazz gonna pull the Fiend of Fire herself and try to take care of Carrie.
Why not?
We're gonna open up with a white shirt. We're gonna open up with he did it so fast I misweighted. I think he's swinging because we're fasting. So no canal yet for Ragnarok. And luckily we get that evasion stack off to keep Rags up for JazzRaptr. And we're going to keep swinging, and we're going to start dumping tempers, I hope. Yeah. Alright, evasion continues to climb. Swinging that light axe. 6 hits, 314. We actually got a crit out of that axe. That's pretty good. Those things don't crit very often. Down goes the Black Mage. Another hit there. 6 hits, 272. Ragnarok finds a katana in that box that I was talking about behind the Frosty Spike tile, which now has Karibs on it. And that's going to be an in-game weapon for the Thief. I would imagine JazzRaptr will also get that when he comes to ice. This carry rolled up real high. She's got close to 1,000 HP. Luckily, only seems to be punching, so we get out of the fight once we get the evasion up, and JazzRaptr, first on-screen runner to light an orb here at the 38-minute mark. Gonna have to sail back to Crescent, though, to pick that Black Mage up. Alright. Oh, it was an Opal Shield in the box that I called.
Well, here comes my. Oh man!
I was one box off, man. I was one box off. And I missed it during the carry fight, but something took out Ragnarok's fighter. And then on the rivers, Jazz lost his Thief, so both of our runners in kind of dire situations here. Ragnarok more so in the bottom of a dungeon.
No, just wait. We're gonna find out the measurements in that is in one of those boxes.
We'll see, man. There's an Aegis shield, so 2 really good shields here in the Ice Cave. Unfortunately, only one of them is going to be worth equipping, and it's going to be that Aegis. There's a loose loot, and you called that one, Q. That not necessarily the canal, but a loose item in the Ice Cave in the 3 boxes that you called to have something. So both of our spider senses are tingling here. We both called brooms in like one or two chests off from where we initially called, so pretty good.
And with that, I mean, literally, Cube. About the only thing we don't know where it is right now is Cube. I mean, Cube is out there, but after that, item go.
Ooh, yeah. Well, we still need the rod as well to get through the Earth Cave, but so that was Incentive Power Gauntlet in Ice Cave. So if it weren't for the canal and the loot, this Ice Cave would not have been required. But so let's talk about a loose loot. Loose loot is one of the most frustrating things to find because it does not gate any box. So like a loose key can be anywhere except in a key lock box. Loose Oxyale can be anywhere except in Sea Shrine. Loose Cube anywhere but Sky Palace. Loose Chime anywhere but Sky Palace or Mirage, so forth and so on. The loot can literally be in any box that is not in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. So if it's going to be loose, you want to find it in your natural pathing. When you're not in go mode and you're hitting Ice Cave, those 3 boxes, you're going to open them up every time. So lucky for our runners that the loot was on their path, because if it's loose and it's not, then all bets are off of where it could be.
On that one, I can see your point.
Yeah.
And if you're basically lootless after basically, I mean, maybe you've skipped a box. Maybe you've maybe you thought I don't need those boxes up in Earth 3 to 4. Just run through the ledge and just get it done.
Yeah.
And then you hit the roadblock.
Yeah. So if you're new to FFR and you've watched a lot of Randomizer, you probably watched Link to the Past Randomizer. You might know a little bit more about that than you know about Final Fantasy Randomizer coming in. A loose loot in this game is very much like finding the ice rod. Like, you're going to need it to get through Turtle Rock, and you have no idea where it's going to be, and it could be anywhere. So if that loot doesn't end up in one of the incentivized boxes and it's quote-unquote anywhere, it feels real bad. And another, I've seen a lot of questions about like new people coming into the community watching races. They want to know what incentivized mean or what loose items mean. So, Hydras with Blaze, Ragnarok without those ribbons, gonna feel that. I'll continue with the metaphor of Link to the Past Randomizer. In that game, everything is loose because that's just the way it is. Any box can have any item as long as it doesn't gate itself. Like, you're not going to find the lamp or whatever in the Palace of Darkness, right, in a dark room, that kind of stuff. So unless it can't gate itself by logic and it's loose out in the world. Now, in our game, we could have it set up like that. We could have it where everything is loose, all the progression items are loose, and they could be anywhere. But our developers are a little kinder than that, and they picked specific treasure chests in a lot of different dungeons and a lot of different places that could have key items. You think about it as like the big chests in Link to the Past Randomizer. So imagine if you're playing Link to the Past and you know that the Palace of Darkness is quote-unquote incentivized. That means you're going to get a key item out of the big chest, and it's not going to be like a bomb or 5 rupees or whatever. That would be how the best way I think to kind of explain incentivizing an item is that specific box is going to have one of our incentivized items. And with the Final Fantasy Randomizer, we can incentivize more than just progression. Our key progression items being like what we just talked about, Q, the key, the lute, the chime, the cube, the oxiel, and the rod. Those 6 items, and the canoe, I'm sorry. Those 7 items are really the only things you need to beat the game. You need the canoe to get to carry. You need the rod to get to Lich. You need the oxiel to get to Kraken. You need the chime and cube to get to Tiamat. You need the key and the lute to get to the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
And before this question gets asked, do you need the tail? The answer is no.
No. Everything else you don't need. Like, you could find the herb, the crystal, the herb, the crystal, the TNT, the ruby, the bottle, the adamant, the slab, the crown. All of those items that you go and bring to somebody could then turn around and give you the rod. But they don't have to. And we also have 3 items that are incentivized. We talked about it before, the Thor hammer, the opal bracelet, and the power gauntlet. Those 3 items are going to kind of muddy up the pool of maybe this ice, like with Ice Cave, like, this Ice Cave, it's incentivized. There might be a key item here for progression. There was, as JazzRaptr finds it, but it was loose. It wasn't in the incentivized box. The incentivized box in Ice Cave is where you find the floater right here in the vanilla game. When Ragnarok came here, we saw that it was, in fact, the Power Gauntlet, one of those incentivized items, not key item progression. And Speed Gaming 5, thank you for the raid. You're joining us just as our runners are kind of cleaning up what each other have already done. Both runners now have the canal that they dug out of the ice cave. Biggest difference here, JazzRaptr turned in the crown early, got the key, did his little mini grind before Ragnarok on the 3 eyes and the Temple of Fiends the Temple of Fiends. Made a cheeky marsh dive. Didn't find anything down there, but he did, progression-wise, but did find 2 ribbons. Those 2 ribbons going to pay out huge, as the 3rd was sitting here in Volcano on the Agama floor. So Ragnarok may never go to Marsh, and may never get those ribbons. And Jazz is going to have all three of his Light Warriors equipped with ribbons throughout the entirety of the game, and have that much more survivability. But Ragnarok likes to make cheeky little plays. He likes to kind of mess with us, so we'll see. He might go there. Alright. So, we have, once our runners finish up these 2 dungeons, and they get a move on, they have unfettered access to the rest of the world. Where's the first place that you go, Q?
Okay, you're going to have to repeat. Real life had a bit.
Oh, sure, no worries. So, put yourself in JazzRaptr Ragnarok shoes. Ragnarok gonna clean up Ice Cave here, the volcano, and JazzRaptr on his way out of the river system to get back to his ship.
You're asking. What you're basically asking me is, once they're out into the world, where they want to go.
Yeah. Where would you go?
Waterfall. Would be my first shot. Then I'd go ahead and do ordeals. Then I would basically very begrudgingly start looking at Earth's cave, because frankly, Earth is I can see why a lot of people just really don't like Earth, especially if Earth pulls the rod and the rod is basically laying around in one of those massive amount of chests. Yeah, that'd be fun.
A loose rod in Earth is top tier troll. I think, I kind of agree with your play to go to the northern continents first. I would probably do ordeals first. I like going through ordeals a little bit better, but with your waterfall play, like that's not a bad call either, because we still haven't found a vendor item, and we know one of the item shops in the world will sell a key item, and we know that there's 2 shops on that continent with the waterfall, the one in Onrek and the one at the caravan. And both of our runners not hurting for money, so... And Ragnarok having a little tougher time here with carry. Didn't get those white shirt stacks off. And if we're not careful, we're going to lose our fighter here. And he's getting the information that she's got a ton of HP, and we haven't dumped any tempers into that light axe.
Also, it seems kind of like the Red Hags have a nasty little spell called Blizzard.
Oh, Red Axe with Blizzard is scary. It would be scarier if we didn't have 3 ribbons on JazzRaptr's side. But Ragnarok takes a wipe here. His 2-man, losing the thief on the way down, really kind of set him back because he lost his white shirt caster. But Jazz, probably with the few key items he's picked up, wants to get some levels before he heads out into the world. And so he's going to take this grind for a little bit. Let Ragnarok kind of stick around a little bit longer in this race. Jazz with an opportunity here to blow it open if he continues this grind, or if he doesn't continue the grind rather. But this is pretty close.
This might be a little ignorant of me. I might be shooting the wind.
Okay.
But does this feel kind of like it might be a flutterless seed?
I did the restreaming on the race you called last night with Fifth Eye. I love your obsession with floaterless seeds. Well, let's think. We need 2 key items. We need the rod and we need the cube. If one of those items is in the waterfall and the other one is in the shop or ordeals, then we could be a floater not required seed. I won't say floaterless because we'll still likely find the floater, because both of our runners will want to promote, but we still don't have a tail. So
here's how I'm seeing it. We have an adamant right now. We have a ruby. It's still up there. We have TNT. We have herb. We only have 2 more items before go mode. So I mean, literally, you gotta take into consideration that we've almost got all the all the key items. I mean, it's literally just sitting there.
Especially if there's like a ruby for sale in the caravan, and the incentivized Titans Trove has the rod, and Sard is holding onto the cube. That would, I think our runners will still open boxes, because they would like, if they're not going to promote, they're going to want a better sword for their fighter, either a sun sword or a Masa. I was
about to say that.
Yeah, like you're gonna want something better than a light axe or an ice sword. Like we can make an ice sword work with fast and temper, but we're gonna have to live on this tile a little bit longer and probably get to level 32 to make that ice sword pretty effective. But it could work.
I was actually having a little discussion with Canuck today, and asked him if there's any possible way of making the wooden staff, basically the stick, so he can actually beat Gopher.
Canuck is one of those guys I've seen take the very weak low-level swords all the way through the end game. Another runner I've seen do that and have success with it is Spell Zap. I've seen him kill Chaos with a falchion. So it's possible. with the right gear and spells, it's definitely more likely. We'll have plenty of fast casts to get through the game. The tempers could get a little shaky, but we do have the power gauntlet. I think if we find a defense sword, that could help as well. But Jazz, running out of spell charges, is going to come out, drop a house, and at 23, he's feeling good enough to go explore the world. And Ragnarok getting to carry with all 3 of his light warriors standing. Disc is able to get those evasion stacks off to help his party survive those big punches from carry, and also making the adjustment to not do magic damage but to buff up that light axe. I love it. That's the same play that JazzRaptr did when he came here, and it's paying off for him. And we're going to throw out the cheeky quad X, but not before 577 damage comes out from that light axe. Level 5 black magic. What we got? We got level 5 nuke. That's pretty good. Don't need to buy anything else. Let's go. And
I don't like the fact that nuke's at level 5 though, because I mean you're not going to see as many charges. You're going to have to be very conservative with those nukes. I would say that you save the nukes for basically killing bosses, or at least weakening them.
Yeah, I think actually I'll politely disagree with you. I think you use the nukes to. I would save them for unrunnable fights and dungeons, and I would save the fast. I would save the fast and tempers for bosses, and I would just rely on melee boss strats with that ice sword for the time being. But that's what I would do. But you're not wrong. Nuke is pretty effective on bosses. We know these bosses can scale anywhere from like 40 to 230%, and if they roll low, you might be able to get through them in a couple nukes. So
also, I mean, this isn't for like every Final Fantasy, far from it.
Mm-hmm.
But out of all the Final Fantasies that have been crafted, including 11 and 14, it seems like Final Fantasy 1 has got some of the most softest spells in the game, or in the series.
What do you mean by that? Like just the fact that it's just nuke and fade that are the high damage non-elementals.
No. Let's compare nuke to Ultima and Final Fantasy 6. Nuke in Final Fantasy 1, you might crit up a 500 damage. Mm-hmm. With Ultima, you can do 9,999 and leave Kefka's mouth basically keep him wide open like he's the Joker.
Well, the thing with the damage rolls here in the vanilla game is that nuke is just capped at 400 damage, so you're not going to hit over 400. But I mean, when you get that 400 crit or unresisted roll on like a chaos or a Tia 2, it feels so good. When you roll nuke and it rolls over 300 damage on a fiend, it feels real good.
Oh, it does. Yes.
But with the some of the more experimental features in the game on the alpha and beta sites, we have One Fine Day's Spellcrafter, and in the Spellcrafter, he's created his own spells that have different damage outputs, and you could see spells roll up to like 800 damage, and it's pretty fun to play with. It takes some getting used to because they're named differently, and they kind of
give me.
Hell yeah. You should check it out. It's in the experimental tab. Go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. While you're there, make sure you join the Discord if you're watching this on YouTube or you're hanging out here in the Discord. There's a lot of fun stuff in that Spellcrafter. And both of our runners, we got route convergence here. JazzRaptr getting through the Pillar Maze, Ragnarok having flashbacks of these Argoyles with glare. These glare goyles. Jazz in a pretty good spot. Ragnarok's got a little bit better levels than him, but Jazz with the triple ribbons.
And it was a max G box here.
Loose slab.
Seems Ordeals is becoming the bank.
So I think your dream of a floaterless seed is dwindling a little bit because we have Slab and Bottle now. Those could turn into Opal Bracelet, Tail, and Thorhammer. There's our cube. Oh boy. So if the vendor item isn't in Caravan or Onrak, and our rod isn't in the waterfall, yeah, we are a floater not required. And that floater is loose somewhere. As Edgeworth, longtime member of the community, he and I like to joke around that it happened again. Loose floater happened again.
The reason why I like this choice is basically it makes our runners wonder. Do I want to do Topher, or do I want to spend the time to get myself upgraded? I mean, really, that's.
MG Weirdo in chat correcting me. We won't have a loose floater. We found our 2 loose. I'm stupid. So it's either going to be for sale, or it's going to be behind a fetch quest, or it's going to be in the waterfall here. We will likely see a floater this seed.
Aww. Boom, but maybe we might not see the tail.
We might go unpromoted. Tailless is more likely, I think. But with Slab and Bottle behind, yeah. There's TNT for sale. That's pretty cheap. Now, I don't recall if we picked up Warp. I don't think we did, because we did the long way through Ice Cave. So this...
Have we found Fast yet?
Yeah, Fast. Yeah, Fast was level 1. So... Without Warp, this is going to be a longer than normal waterfall.
I hope these guys aren't expecting to do Brax stats. I think Brax probably going to be level 7 or 8.
Yeah, and there's Dark and Slep, so
that just pushed it to 8.
Unless it's in Gaia at 7. There are the 2 black magic. There are 2 level 7 shops in. MG Weirdo. See, I gotta be reading your notes, man. We got bracket level 6, and JazzRaptr picked it up. So, but still level 6. That's a little out of reach for guaranteed Brax strats. But we do have a Bane sword. We could see some cheeky Banes and Brax going out, but I don't think that's the play. I think we lean on Invis 2 with the white shirt and just fast and temper up whatever our fighters are swinging to get.
So, where do you think got Redheaded Stepchild into level 8?
Let's see. We've seen Lit 3, we've seen Ice 3, we've seen Fire 3. Zap was level 2. Probably the tier 2 sweepers. I don't think we've seen too many of them.
You thinking Ice might be sitting in there?
I don't know if we'll even see the level 8 magic shops. There's no reason for our runners to check them. They have the black magic they want with Fast and Temper and Nuke. Everything else is just sort of icing on the cake. That's a pretty... Not a lot of people like this grind style because it can be very dangerous if any of these things have scripts, but look at the route convergence here. Both of our runners
neck and neck
on this water tile, and even though Rag's stream is about 6 seconds ahead, they're still on this fight at the same time. That's pretty exciting. So Lightning 3 going to help on the Naga, not going to help so much on the Water Elementals. The Bane Sword, same thing, will help with the Naga, but you're looking at a 3 in 256 chance, or a 1% chance for that Bane to hit a Water Elemental. For this fight, you kind of want to be leaning on Ice. Ice is the elemental weakness for waters. And we are in... Jazz is in trouble time. Those waters punch it pretty hard, and we don't get the turn order, so Rag's gonna pull a little ahead. But we'll see how far ahead he actually is once we get to lighting more orbs. And there's Adamant, so perfect timing to find Adamant and TNT. We can go do those 2 together.
Well, with that being said, I'm pretty sure that we're probably going to see another I'm going to say that we're probably going to see Ruby coming out of one of those. Maybe a Rod, but
Yeah.
I don't believe we're going to see Ruby. But then again, this has been a bit of a choice.
Yeah. And it looks like we're having a little bit of trouble on the back end with our tracker. I just checked, all of the boxes are lit for our stuff, but it's just not displaying properly. So both of our runners,
our technical difficulties.
Yeah, so both of our runners just looking for a rod, and JazzRaptr gets ambushed by this tile. That doesn't feel good. And just going to commit to the flea, and we're going to throw a nuke as we go. I like the run and gun strats here. Still got to talk to the robot. Please don't forget. Okay. Please don't forget to talk to the robot. Please tell me I just missed it and he talked to the robot and I was clicked out of the... Okay, he did. He's got the adamant. Okay. My concerns have been abated.
Yes.
I was very worried that he was not going to talk to the robot and leave.
You've seen some of my bullet sweats I've done. Shoot.
All right. So I think with both of our runners knowing with the information that both of the loose items were in their natural path, that we might just knock out the sea shrine while we're here.
Logical choice. Or you could basically say, okay, yeah, I'm close to the sea shrine, but I did go grab up the crown. Maybe I can get some easy easy progression coming up out of this. But let's go ahead and head down to head over to Dwarf Cave.
Yeah, I think like dwarves is definitely on the agenda, but I think you do sea here and then you go do dwarves, because the dwarves are likely going to give you the ruby, maybe the herb, maybe some more inner sea fetch quests, and one of those you're hoping will turn into the rod, and then you can just knock out Earth Cave.
We don't have any more loose, so
right. But we have an incentivized Titan Trove. We have Sarda to talk to, so we have the adamant and the TNT to turn into. So any one of the Dwarf Cave items could turn into the ruby, could turn into the herb. And then we have those two turn-ins to do that could turn into the rod. So there's a lot of opportunities to get that rod up in the inner sea area. And I think with that in mind, it's also likely to turn into... One of those is likely to turn into the floater. So...
Seems like Jazz is using your strats.
Yeah. You route via proximity, and I think you clear chests as you go looking for a sword. Because we don't have any in-game weapon. We don't have... The best in-game weapon we have right now is an ice sword. We're looking for... The dream would be the Moss Moon. We have a katana, but we don't have the ability to equip it because we can't promote. We would be happy with a sun sword. I don't think we'd be happy with a sun sword. We could work with it. And then... Beyond that, we're looking for maybe a Vorpal, maybe X-Cal, something that, and just hope that we find the tail. But the Moss is the dream right now, because that means we don't have to promote. Ooh, dragon armor, that's a pretty nice find. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up. And luckily both of our runners have pack mules and they're nuns. So they can just load up all the extra gear that they can equip onto those empty character slots. There's another katana, just salt in the wound. And that's it for Ragnarok. Just checking the greed chests along the way. The 2 in the bean room and the 3 in the Sharknado. I do hope that Ragnarok remembers to check the caravan before he leaves here. As he's making quick work of this sea shrine.
seems like Jazz just went up to level 24, which is getting well within normal Topher levels.
Yeah, both our runners have really good levels. I think I got a good look at Jazz's armor. I would take that power bonk off the black mage and equip it to the knight or the fighter, because he has a ribbon already and he's just holding onto a black shirt in that extra slot. So I'd equip that power bonk, get a little extra absorb, and then move that pro cape that's sitting on the empty slot down to the black mage and get that black mage as much absorb as possible. So let's see next time Jazz is in his armor screen if he kind of acknowledges that and kind of moves those things around, because again, that's one of those things that you can tunnel vision into and just miss. And
I've seen some pretty beefy mistakes coming out of these races from mismanaging items, and even other streamers who are just doing it casually, completely mismanaging it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you see so many. You watch people play this game, and you see so many runners not equipping things like the power of a gauntlet because they have a pro ring equipped. Well, pro ring's really nice. It offers some of the best absorb in the game at the wrist slot, but power bonk I think has 2 fewer absorb, but with the ribbon, like, you're going to get the death protection, and it kind of like 1 to 2 absorb isn't really going to matter in the long run. And
in other words, you want to spread the love.
Yeah, so you can give the pro ring to maybe one of your mages and equip the power gauntlet, but here, let's see what Kraken is doing to Ragnarok. Not hitting for a whole lot, and down goes the thief once again. So we're switching to nukes, and we don't have the evasion up. Kraken punching real hard, so we're going to have to rely on those nukes, and that's a big roll there for 314. We're going to get cheeky and cute and hope that this Quad X does it, and it might. It does, with that big hit from the fighter preceding it for 255 damage. Ragnarok lights his second orb at the hour 10-minute mark in 8 seconds, we'll say 6 seconds. And Jazz, hour 10 minutes, 8 seconds right behind on this Kraken fight. So trying to figure out what we're gonna do. We're gonna switch up to the Brack. So we got the fast off, but we don't have the tempers, and we don't have the power gauntlet on the fighter here, so we're gonna have to. And Rag forgot to do the caravan. That could come back to bite him.
Like I've said before, and I'll say it again, they'll figure it out when basically they've explored everything, and when they hit that dead end, that's when they're gonna be like, where did I mess up?
Yeah, it's one of those things where if the TNT leads to like Opal Bracelet or Thor Hammer, it won't matter. So we got our evasion stacks up. Time to start. I was gonna swing. I probably would have switched to the Bane strats there.
As far as Regna right now, he might want to be praying that the Thor Hammer is what's back behind that TNT.
All right, so he gets the ruby, so it's pretty good. That's what I was. You got to switch to the Bane sword. Yeah, you don't know how much health this Kraken's got, and we're not getting damage in it now. Kraken's throwing out spells. Bane ineffective. That's going to be the way we're going to get this
Kraken's
done.
being nice right now. I mean, literally, Kraken can hit you for eight hits and just like completely wipe Jazz. And Rag right now is
well, we expect. Jazz was prepared for that with using the white shirt to get his evasion cap. So Kraken will only be able to physically hit JazzRaptr if he gets a critical hit. So, but 15 damage at a time, it's not going to get it done. We got to switch back to those Bane swords.
And Kraken just said, "I'm going to make Caleb eat his words."
Well, crits, you can't really do anything about crits except cast some fog. And now we're in the bad times, and we're going to try to mage stick down this Kraken with our thief. It can happen. It's just going to take a while. And there's a big crit from Kraken, taking Rags down to 99 HP on JazzRaptor side.
Okay, Ragnar right now is getting into Sarda, and I really want to see what Sarda has.
So both of our runners took wipes here, and it's the vanilla rod. So there's our go mode, which means the TNT is going to turn into the floater.
Which,
so
depending on if the tail is okay, we do have a tail right now, so
yeah,
Reg might be taking some time to consider life choices.
Yeah, Ragnarok doesn't know that the TNT, which was for sale, turns into the floater probably after the crystal. I'm sorry, after the herb, but herb could also be gating whatever's behind the bottle or the slab. JazzRaptr going to give us that information right away. He's going to be able to promote. He's going to be in a little bit better situation than Ragnarok. Still doesn't have a better melee offensive weapon for his fighter, but we do have the katana, and we can make that ninja our melee carry if we have to.
And it seems like Ragnar's going straight for Earth.
Yeah, he's gonna probably go mode Earth, maybe open some greed boxes, get hopefully look for Amasa, so we might see maybe 5 boxes opened here. But here comes the TNT turn in, and it's the herb. So herb will lead to floater, because it has to. Because the floater cannot be behind the bottle or the slab.
I'm loving this right now. This seed couldn't be any more trolly. Jazz has the floater, but doesn't have the tail. Ragnarok has the tail, but doesn't know where TNT is, so he can't path into floater. So basically, these both players right now are literally, by their own accord, locked out of promotion.
I mean, Jazz will get that tail. He's just going to get in the air first, and then he'll probably fly to Sar to get the rod, and then he'll check the Titan Stroke from the back door with the ruby, and then he'll get his tail. So it's just he'll be doing it a little bit different order. There it is. So all along, that floater was just sitting there for our runners to find at the caravan, essentially. So from the minute we got the canal and ice cave, we could have been airborne if we had just gone right to the Onrak continent. It's fascinating.
If I've learned anything from this seed, I will not be going to ordeals. I will not be going to Waterfall. I will not be going to Earth. I'll be heading directly for the caravan, dealing with the Arab, and getting whatever's there.
Well, I've seen so many times where in all honesty, I've seen ordeals pay out with the floater more than any of the other 3 locations between Waterfall and the shop. So I like an ordeals check. Ordeals is one of those places I like to go right away. The enemies there aren't usually too scary, and you can kind of clear through them with early magic and get some good levels come out of there, like what we were talking about. Get to level 10 before you leave the inner sea, and you can go anywhere, and if you hit ordeals at level 10, you could leave there at level 15, level 16 without even taking a grind, just taking the fights as they come to you.
Exactly.
So, and then from there, you go to a Waterfall, you take the fights as you come there, and you're level almost 20. It could be 18, 19, 20, somewhere in that range. And there's the rod and go mode for Jazz. Jazz going to do the Titan's Trove, going to get his tail, going to know that the bottle and slab turn into the Thor hammer and opal bracelet. Probably not even going to check them. Opal bracelet would be nice, but there's better stuff for that ninja to equip. It doesn't even open the greed box. It just says, "Nah, just give me that tail. I got 3 ruins. Now I'll check them."
I think Jazz just cackled in complete and utter mayhem because the tail was found, and he basically looked at that, and literally I could hear him cackling from Atlanta.
Would you say that he might be jazzed?
Oh yeah.
Actually, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if when we get our runners in here after the race, if Jazz says that he feels behind here, because an hour, 15-minute floater isn't a good feeling. And where are we going, Jazz? We want to go promote. We want to go to the Cardia Islands, raid those boxes, hope for an in-game weapon. Okay, we're going to fly south to get there. Okay, that works. And Ragnarok going to go light his Earth Orb, so going to pull pretty far ahead with the Orb lead, but Jazz going to have the promotion. Maybe finds Masa, or Vorpal, Excal. There's a lot of boxes here. That's a big score.
If Masa is here, Ragnar's in trouble. I mean,
yeah, if there's an in-game weapon here in the Cardia Islands, Ragnarok is in trouble unless Topher is squishy. Because he's got really good levels. He just needs something better than that Ice Sword. Like, that Ice Sword will work, but it's not our ideal method for dealing with the in-game. And nothing doing in the little Cardia Swamp, so time to go promote. Talk to Bahamut. Oh, we're gonna do the Cardia Forest first. Okay. Nope, soft potion of money.
Looks like everything might. It certainly looks like everything's in sky.
Oh, where's the Ice Shield? I would go back for that, because that's Ice Shield and Flame Armor is pretty good for a ninja. There's another Pro Ring, so not the best gear in the world, but oh, he dropped the Flame Armor. Well, there goes that wonderful ninja armor.
Why?
I mean, he doesn't need the offsetting elemental resist. I didn't see his inventory. I think he does have ice armor on the fighter. Ice armor, flame armor have like the same absorb, so he might just give the ninja the ice armor and the ice shield. Like I said, he doesn't need the complementing resistances with the ribbons, but that might have been... Okay, so we're gonna go with the Bane Sword. That's fine. I would probably favor the Ice Sword over the Flames or the Bane Sword, but Bane Sword's got pretty good crit. And we're gonna throw everything on the ground that isn't a caster item, except the Flaming Giant Sword. We want the Black Wizard to be wielding these two. Okay, I like it. I like the play. When you're unsure, check the stats on the weapons, and he keeps the Light Axe equipped. I mean, it's fine. Where did his dragon armor go? Oh, he lost the dragon armor because he wiped out of Sea Shrine. But he'll pick that back up. So give the Aegis Shield. Swap the Pro Ring. Alright, we're doing some item management here. I would equip the Power Bunk. There you go. Equip the Power Bunk. Please equip the Power Bunk. Then equip the Power Bunk. The Power Bunk is an equipable item. That's fine.
Yeah. Train wreck.
That's not
one over here.
It's not that bad. It's just one of those things. Falconic and I were talking about it. Race we called the other day, and Ragnarok just hooray all over the place. He remembered his TNT, so he's going to get in the air here. So Ragnarok.
So this is basically a new horse race.
Yep, Ragnarok has the orb lead. JazzRaptr coming in, going to get his Sea Orb. I think even with Jazz beating him in the air, Ragnarok probably has... Well, he's choosing to walk here. It's usually a little bit faster to take the boat just because the encounter rate is a lot lower in the sea than walking across the overworld, but probably could only cost him here about 20 to 30 seconds doing the walk instead of the sail. But
I'm seeing something here, and this ain't looking pretty for Jazz right now. Ragnar's got 3 orbs lit. Jazz only has 1 right now. That's a couple of dungeons right there. That's keeping Topher, basically from being unlocked.
Well, Jazz will get his sea orb lit by the time Ragnarok promotes. And he will likely be either into Earth or Sky by then. He remembers where the dragon armor is, heads up play there. Switch the ice armor with the ninja. Please equip. Please equip. Put the white shirt there. Equip that power bunk. Gonna keep the white shirt on the ninja.
I think he's just gonna irritate you with that power bunk.
I think it's just we'll talk to him about it, and it might just be like I said. It's one of those things where when you're in a race like this, Q, it's one of those things that you tunnel vision. You tunnel vision real hard. You know the power bonk's on the fighter. That's all that matters. It's there. The equipment, the actually equipping of it, it's like I said. It's the difference of 8 absorb. It's not a huge difference, but it could be. But we'll see. I mean, both runners have really good armor with the dragon armor, so that helps. But we'll see. So Jazz gonna pull Kraken pretty soon, and Ragnarok headed to the Cardi Islands. So he's gonna do his clear here. He'll get his decent gear here in Cardiagrassi if he decides to check it. He might just go mode these and not open any boxes, but I think it all depends on how comfortable he's feeling with 1 ribbon. Because I do not think we saw life magic available. I'm going to double check our tracker's notes. Unless it's at level 3, which we didn't get a real good look at, we won't have life magic, so he may want at least 1 more ribbon. So we'll see. Let's see how Ragnarok does his inventory management here.
And power bonk just got equipped.
Hey, all right.
At least one of our runners actually gave you some souls.
I would love to see him actually equip that black shirt on his black wizard now, because that does give the black wizard time resistance, which is huge.
You just don't ever get any breakthrough.
I want them to be perfect. Well, he doesn't have the benefit of 3 ribbons, and like I said, time resist is one of those things you're only going to get from a ribbon or the black shirt, and we know it right now. It's not that big a deal. None of the pre-Topher fiends will have zap, but any one of the Topher fiends could have a zap spell, and that is terrifying on a ribbonless, lifeless party. So Rag will clean up the Cardias here. He will get that ice shield out of Cardia Forest. He will get that extra pro ring, so that'll be pretty good for him. And down goes... So I was a little off. I said that he would have his orb lit by the time Ragnarok was promoted. Ragnarok's still clearing Cardia. I would imagine if Jazz is doing proximity routing here, he'll go to Sky next, because it's not that far away. I don't think Jazz opens anything but maybe greed chests in Sky. But we're going to go to Earth. Okay. I think it's a little bit quicker to fly west and hit up the Mirage Tower, but we're going to do Earth first. Well, third, but Earth before Sky.
Very much so.
And we didn't see anything too nasty down here, so nothing that we really have to be that worried about with our 3 ribbons.
I mean, the Earth run for Ragnar was pretty. I mean, let's just face it. That was as close to a hero walk dungeon as any dungeon run has been in this season. Earth has been very relaxing. Actually, it's kind of like a trot through the Mammoth Caves.
Yeah, we're just kind of spelunking. We're in the Luray Caverns, just kind of checking out what nature's done. So Ragnarok does equip the ice shield and the ice armor onto his ninja. Doesn't do the offsetting ice shield flame armor to get the fire and ice resistance, but that's not the end of the world. And Jazz throwing out a Bane Sword on wizards, you're gonna have a bad time with that. That's not very likely to hit.
Yet it did.
Did it? Did we poison smoke a wizard, or did we just get the runoff?
I saw a spell basically just destroy all of them all in that one spell. So, I mean, I might be mistaken, but it may have been Bane. Stranger things have happened.
That is true. All right.
No pirate has got speed bumped.
So Jazz checking the greed chest, and yeah, people like to call the vampire speed bump. I like to think of them as a ramp. Just gonna hit this ramp going 60 miles an hour, and you freeze frame in the air as you hit the rod plate. And you cue that Dukes of Hazzard music.
Hey, Martin, that's I got a Dodge Charger. I can actually do that one.
There you go. All right. So Rag probably. It's kind of hard to tell. I'd probably say 3 minute lead or so. It all depends on what happens after Sky and how many boxes Ragnarok opens here looking for a ribbon. And just gonna do the greed chest. So, and ice sword. There you go, bud. There's your in-game weapon. Good luck.
I'm confused right now.
What's up?
Can Meza be actually in vanilla Meza location?
It could be. We've seen a few times where the Masa ends up in the validation checks, and Temple of Fiends Revisited, in those 2 boxes right after the Phantom tile. But right now, it could be anywhere. We didn't check. We checked maybe 15% of the boxes in Sea Shrine. We didn't check anything of the 53 boxes in Sky Mirage. We've checked 4. So we full cleared Ice and Volcano. It could be here on Earth. We only opened like 3 or 4 boxes here. There was just a little bit of money in Count Chocula's closet, Sonny. And there's JazzRaptr's 3rd orb here at the 130 mark. So on his way to the Mirage Tower. And let's get those blessed RNGs in chat. Ragnarok about to hit the Bridge of Destiny. He's going to do his little dance on the catwalk here. Need some nachos. Gonna throw the nachos in the freezer with some ice 3. I mean, it's a good way to store them for later.
You know, go chicken.
Some chicken nachos. And Jazz gonna clear out first floor Mirage. It's cheeky. It's cheeky.
Oh, lovely! This is the one time I actually make a cheer for Warmac, and he's like, "Nope, I'm not gonna show up. Nope, no."
Well, it's still good. The slime's trying to get the rub down on Ragnarok. He says, "No, please, keep your hands to yourselves." And a little bit of money, a little bit more money. Uh-oh. And just reset out. Yep. So there it is. See, Warmac shows up at Ragnarok, knows what the people want to see. He's going to take the fight. I like this because this is a litmus test for can I get through Topher. Warmac can be as scary as a Fiend Revisited, and with that, we just wipe out the ninja. And down goes the Black Mage.
Ouch. I may have jinxed Ragnar.
So, and down, Warmac brutalizing Ragnarok. Ragnarok didn't save before he went in there.
So,
I don't know.
In other words,
I need to see his inventory. I don't know if he still has that Ice Shield and Pro Ring from Cardia Grass. Mythical Blue Stake. So Ragnarok punished here for the disrespecting Mirage Tower and not saving outside of it. I wonder if he just forgot to do that. So we're going to do it now. don't, based on where his safe position was over the Cardia Islands, I don't know if he still has some of that gear on his ninja. And we won't know until we see his item inventory. And just like that, JazzRaptr pulls ahead of Ragnarok.
I've been seeing a lot of matches where basically you make one mistake, one tiny mistake, and it just costs you literally the entire match.
It's harrowing, dude. Like when you're that's what I'm saying. Like when you're in this situation that Jazz and Ragnarok are in, you know that your competitor is exactly that, a competitor. And you're sitting at 1 hour 30 minutes, you've got 3 orbs lit, you got the floater 20 minutes ago, and it was available from the jump with that. If you made the early ice check, which you have to be paranoid and assume that your competitor did that. And Jazz going to check the other boxes here on Sky 3, might get rewarded as Ragnarok's going to pass him and know that come on, Ragnarok, you know you don't need to open these boxes. All he wants is the ice sword. Okay, so Ragnarok going to head back to the bridge. Jazz going to check these last 4, or probably check all 6 that are all the remaining 10 boxes here. Flame Shield's not bad, but when you're rocking an Aegis and your ninja's got a fire shield. Alright. So you have to, like, that's what I'm talking about, like one little mistake, one misclick, one I forgot to save can come back to bite you in the butt. I've played in races where
we just found Mesamoon.
There it is.
Sorry to cut you off, man.
No, that's a cheeky Sky 3 Moss is worth it, dude. Like that's one of those things where it's gonna be the probably the difference in this game unless Topher is paper. But even if it is, Jazz will probably get through it a little bit quicker having the Masa and because both of our runners are about equal in levels. I need those blessed RNGs. Is Ragnarok going to see Warmech again?
I'm not going to curse him again. I mean, literally. I mean, it would be cruelty. It would be cruelty. But I don't curse Jazz.
Rojo and CC are in chat. They're throwing out their blessed RNGs. I think if Ragnarok sees him again, and he does, you run. You had your chance and you run. You could try to take the fight with evasion cap, like working on white shirts and stuff, but yeah, he came in on the same encounter table, and it looks like Jazz sees it a little bit sooner, and he's going to take the fight and just go all offense. Black Wizard doesn't get a chance to get the fast off, and now we're running.
Jazz just figured it out.
And that's a heads-up play, and Ragnarok makes quick work of Tia and just erases her with Quad X after a couple swings, and I believe a nuke. So this isn't terrible. Jazz, if I were Jazz, I'd probably try to take some of these fights to get a little bit extra XP dumped onto the ninja and the knight. It will slow you down a little bit, but
I disagree. I'd be heading straight for Tia, because right now, currently, if Jazz has any game sense, he knows he's at a minute 36. He knows his opponent's no slouch.
Yeah,
and literally, the nerves right now are real.
Yeah, I think I want just like maybe 2 more levels on that ninja to get his HP over 400, just because if we hit, say, Lich 2, and Lich 2 has close to his vanilla script and unloads with a first turn nuke, and it high rolls our ninja, well, we're just out of luck, and because we won't have life magic unless something was at level 3, because we didn't actually see level 3 white magic.
Well, we have a grind towel that's in Topher Ruined Temple. I mean, literally, that's the place to go to do it. Instead of trying to do it now. That's a great idea. If we had any sort of insecurity about our levels, we could pick them up right there in the Temple of Fiends with the 3 eyes right there. So Ragnarok gonna load up on his magic. He picked up Wall at level 2. That's a heads-up play. He doesn't have the ribbons to
support his party. Jazz won't need to buy that. I'd imagine I would have picked up heal 2.
Yeah,
Just,
I think
just for a little bit of safety.
I think that may be a mess up on Jazz's part.
Yeah, I mean, he might just be comfortable with heal pots, but heal 2, I mean, 4 charges of heal 2 isn't going to get you that far, but little micro optimizations. But Ragnarok not going to check Elflin. That makes me think that he did check level 3 white magic, and it wasn't anything that he wanted. So going to grab fast on the ninja and quad X. Yep, I like that. And
Man, this is scary. This is scary right now. I mean, seriously scary.
138.08. In comes Ragnarok. Temple of Fiends Revisited. We got a 4-pack of Chimeras with quad X. Nothing to be worried about. We got Pro Rings and A Ribbon.
Oh, that's not what I'm afraid of. I'm more afraid what Kraken's going to do.
Yeah, any of our light warriors go down. We don't have a defense sword. We have no way to get evasion cap super quick. The man cats on the spike tile is fine, and yep. So JazzRaptr, yeah, I would gonna grab level 2 magic for the ninja. I like this too. Gonna grab a couple of those tempers.
Let's go ahead and go ahead and do a little recap of our beginning fights right now. We have not seen that big of a skill list. We haven't seen that crazy of a earth cave. The dungeons have been pretty tame.
And look at this. We have synchronicity. Technically, Jazz walked in 6 seconds ahead of Ragnarok, but Ragnarok reset out of Temple of Fiends. He saw something that he didn't want to see, and I would imagine something took out maybe his Black Mage. I didn't, and there's the Frosties with crack.
Like I was saying, whenever this is from experience only, but whenever you start seeing. Actually, I prefer to see Nuke than see Topher have Nuke.
Yeah, well, so there's only going to be one Nuke that rolls onto the enemies outside of the Topher bosses, unless it rolls onto the Medusa script. There's only going to be one Nuke, and we didn't see that. So, the Fiends Revisited here in the final dungeon share a spell and skill list amongst each other and Warmech. So, between the 6 of those bosses, there are 4 nuclears and 3 nukes to go around. We didn't see any of that on Warmech. Warmech only punched us, so that's, if anything, that's bad news, because that means that all those skills and spells are still here.
As my good honorable friend Fifth Eye Gamer said, "Welcome to Sandsville."
All right, JazzRaptr having a little easier time with the Thunder Slimes because he's able to get the run, but he has 3 ribbons. So JazzRaptr very early on did a cheeky marsh dive looking for the canal while Ragnarok was in the volcano, and while he didn't find loose items down there, he did find 2 ribbons, and the other ribbon being in Volcano. Ragnarok picked that up. Jazz also found it, and so Jazz, huge advantage here with the ribbons. Ragnarok, I think, has a slight level advantage, maybe 1 or 2 levels on Jazz, but not enough to make a difference here. All right, it looks like both of our runners are on the same encounter table, and they're getting the same fights. So if JazzRaptr's next fight is Rock Goals and Iron Goals, that'll be fun. Okay, they're on different encounter tables. They're on the same. Looks like they're on the same cycle. It's just JazzRaptr's slightly ahead because maybe Ragnarok took a reset out and just advanced the encounter table just a little bit. So Ragnarok going to rely on the ninja's katana to carry him through, while Jazz will be able to split between the Masa and the Katana here on these Lich fights. So, and
Lich
Jazz
was pretty papery.
near simultaneous Lich kills. It's kind of hard because the timers are a little off. We don't have exact. The streams aren't exactly synced, but it's super close. They're within 6 seconds of each other. And
Looks like we're doing a lot of fast on the night right now and preparing to power swing.
oh, and I think Jazz just fasted the empty fighter slots, but that's fine. The fasted Masa is able to get it down. We did have to use the ninja's fast to do that, and Carry Radioactive throws out the nuke, and down goes the Black Mage. So Ragnarok, in a bit of a tight spot here, loses his Black Caster. He has like the 1 or 2 temper and fast charges that the ninja has, but we got to be careful here for Ragnarok.
Still got 2 of the worst fiends that have that happen on.
Yeah, you hate to see it. And Jazz is going to have a little bit different of an experience here because he's got those 3 ribbons and that Masa. He's going to be able to take some fights as he dives, get a little bit more experience, possibly some more HP on these fighters. And Ragnarok's going to be forced to run, and he's in resource management mode at this point.
If Jazz wins this, I'm going to commend him for not having no. Oh, ouch! That
So
hurts.
Sacrificial Ninja still okay as long as we get this Kraken down, and down he goes. So Tia punches hard, but doesn't punch as hard as Kraken. So we're gonna throw out the Bane sword. Bane, 1% chance here to take out an elemental. Luckily they're not. Uh-oh, stop punching. Oh no.
I think Jazz may have made a mistake.
Yep, so Ice 3, I mean, it was also a matter of turn order there. He just didn't get the turn order to get the nuke off. But this is a problem. So if we get through
this hurts to watch right here.
We could still get through this. And here comes Kraken 2 on Ragnarok. He's down to just his knight, swinging an ice sword. And he's just swinging a prey, and 2 hits, 6 damage is not going to do it. And 22 HP. And down. So we have a near simultaneous wipe out of Topher, and Ragnarok says,
is doing the smart thing right now.
I like it.
He's making a big frame play right now. So I mean, literally, I was going to ask this earlier. I want to ask this now. Would you take it to 40, 42, 50, 70?
70. Yeah, I take it to level 70. The level cap 50. I mean, if we could reasonably get down to the 2-man, because I don't think the Black Wizard needs that many levels, but yeah, I think getting to level 32 would be nice. I would get 35 for Jazz with the Masa to get that 6th hit. I think it's 31 for the ninja for 5th hit on the katana. I'm not sure on the katana's breakpoints with the thief fixes that are in.
I mean, yeah, these fiends are papery, but actually they're not paper.
They're glass. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're glass cannons. But Rag's plays not wrong here. He wants some levels, because this might just be I'm getting spell charges on my knight and ninja here. So yeah, it was 31. Okay.
Now, no, I was just wondering, out of what we could do with the knight, was there a life spell?
I don't believe so. So I don't. It's me and the tracker. We all missed what level 3 white magic had. So I would imagine our runners checked it, and they would have inventoried it in their head if life was there.
One can hope.
Yeah, and both of these runners are, they've been around the block enough to know to check level 3 white magic, that's the highest level of magic that the knight's going to get, and they would have definitely, even if it wasn't in a slot that the knight could learn, they would have inventoried it like life was here. I'll go back and I'll try to buy it, and whether or not I can learn it or not would be 50-50.
Honestly, even after those Temple of Fiends run, even if I thought my opponent was basically bashing their head against the wall trying to make it to chaos,
Yeah,
I'll just take it to 50. I mean, I'll just take it literally, slow and steady. I mean, literally. Because right now, you don't have a healer. If you have a healer, it's a knight. you either heal or you attack. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, and I think Dangwu in chat has the right of it for Ragnarok side. You turn that fighter into a tank, and you let the ninja be the DPS. You keep that ninja protected at all costs, and you fast up and temper that katana, because that katana will cleave through these fiends, because we did not see high evasion or particularly high absorb either, but that katana will put in work with fast and temper. Well, even without it, it has the best crit rate in the game. So
why not ninja up? Why don't you just ninja up the mezzanine? I mean, literally.
Well, Ragnarok. I'm talking about for Ragnarok's play here. Because Ragnarok doesn't have it, so for Ragnarok, the knight has to be the traditional tank. Just soak the punches. He's got the HP pool to deal with it, and let the ninja receive the fast, receive the tempers. I'd probably even put Power Bonk on the ninja. The ninja can't equip it. Yeah. So Ragnarok coming back in 149, and just all the dang bats are in the way.
I can tell you, if I ever decide to risk it and go into ducklings, I'm gonna be Negaduck.
Well, there's a wonderful new player program out there. If you're watching right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe in a week or two, join the Discord, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. There is a link to the Discord there, and we have a new player initiative called the Duckling Program. Our very own Gregley Puff runs it, and I know he's ramping up probably in the next few weeks. Going to start his Duckling boot camp and lead our army of new ducks onto the Duck Derby, which should be taking place just a few weeks after the spring tournament closes. So lots of new players in the pond. It could be you that's with them. I know leading up to last spring tournament, I was just like you, watching this on YouTube, and took the plunge and haven't looked back. It's been a ton of fun. So if you're out there, would definitely recommend it. And Q, I would definitely love to see in the duck pond, man. I'd be a cheerleader for you,
dude. I'd be a fox in that duck pond.
We gotta be a duck in a duck pond, man. You can't fox because you're just getting your feet wet. If you're a fox in a duck pond, you're just gonna get all wet.
I'll be a fox with duck feathers on me.
All right, so JazzRaptr gets through Kraken. We've got 3 light warriors up. He's gonna take on Tiamat here. Oh, he's only got the 2. Okay, I missed the ninja being down. So, and there's the zap. That is more trouble for Ragnarok than it is for JazzRaptr. That is really bad news for Ragnarok, because we don't know who that ribbon's equipped to that he has. But Tiamat, not a lot of absorb here. Takes out the Black Wizard, but made out of paper, and Tia cut to pieces. Jazz risking the this is a difficult fight if you're trying to run from it. I know we don't have a way to effectively burn through this. That Bane Sword's not going to cut it. This is a tough fight for a solo fighter. And if he stays and tries to take this fight, it's gonna cost him. And you can see they just punch him down. And
I think there may have been a little rage button smashing there.
So, lost the turn order fight, and now he is on the Ragnarok play of let me get some more levels, let me get some more HP, and yeah, so Jazz probably feeling a little frustrated. Took 2 wipes here, and none of them were on Fiends. One to Unrunnable Waters, the next to the Pack of Vampires.
Do you feel that these two are actually making some life decision reconsiderations?
I think both of our runners are going cross-eyed right now. One eye on the screen, one eye on the SRL chat, just waiting for the other person to done, and only thinking that after each wipe that, crap, that was it. I was, I had the chance there, and then you wipe out, and you're just like, okay, when's the done coming? Because we both have to be here. And you can probably reasonably assume that your opponent has also maybe taken a wipe out of the Temple of Fiends, but it doesn't feel good to be taking a grind at roughly the 2-hour mark. But I would imagine Ragnarok will not be here as long as... I'm sorry, JazzRaptr will be here not as long as Ragnarok was, and oh boy,
and Ragnarok might want to get joined some HP. I mean, literally at 121. I wouldn't sit there with that.
The Kraken is no more than like 400 HP. So, and Ragnarok now has that information. That Kraken is a float, a parade float of a giant squid.
Yeah. Calamari.
And Ragnarok gets the run from the vamp group and gets ambushed by rock goals. That's fine, but just going to cost us some heal pots. And Ragnarok, our first runner to make it to Tiamat with 3 light warriors. But Tia does have first round zap. And if that happens, this could be problematic. Ninja swings before the fast. 3 hits, 151. A swing from the Ice Sword for 40. Tia chooses to use Blizzard. That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary, all things considering. And we're switching up to nukes and Tia punching, so anything but zap is good for Ragnarok here. 269 from that katana, followed up with 77. Tia didn't have much health. This nuke...
300 health nuke.
And there's the zap. And the fighter had the ribbon on, and we might have been zapped through a black shirt there, which feels awful. And now we're just in hold A and pray. Tiamat showing off the spell list. This will at least be information should Ragnarok lose to Tia 2 here. We're going to keep holding A, swinging that Ice Sword, hoping for crits.
Jazz might be doing some groaning right now, but I like his chances. Against that zap. I really do.
Well, yeah, Jazz will be fine against zap because he has 3 ribbons. Those ribbons will give him the time resistance, and there's another zap. So either we got through that spell list super quick, or T is holding on to 2. So if Ragnarok catches these vampires that are loose on this floor, this could be problematic. 700 HP is a lot, but vampires punch real hard. And we
Bad man plus nightmare.
That's fine. That's fine. Uh-oh. Oh no! The step right before! No! Not like this. Oh, we get away. Okay.
I was about to say.
We're gonna have to... We're doing the victory lap. We're happy to be at the end. And... we're gonna get... We gotta put that white shirt on this night. We gotta get... We gotta do something. We gotta look at our gear. Oh, so the black shirt not equipped on the black wizard. So that is why we lost our black wizard. That feels bad. But here it comes. Alright, so Jazz finishes his grind as Ragnarok pulls Chaos. If Ragnarok wipes out here, we're going to power bonk Lightning 2. Power bonk. Lightning 2. Uh-oh.
Please loop Chaos. Nope, no chance of that.
Chaos punching pretty hard. Almost 200 damage there. A couple white shirts will do the trick, though. Ice 3. That doesn't feel great. Because he's chip damaging us down to nuke range. And we're getting Fire 3. So we are 4 spells in. Lit 2, Lit 2. Ice 3, Fire 3. And there's a punch and a miss. So our white shirt doing work. Another punch and miss. Power bonk's coming out. We're buffing up that white sword. Ice sword. White shirt fires off. There's the nuke. It low rolls for 106.
Lucky.
Power bonk. Another quad X. Another power bonk. It's done. If there's a nuke here, another Fire 3.
Yeah, he's well within nuke range.
5. And there's a tornado. We are in problem town for Ragnarok. Fewer than 200 HP. 5 hits, 586. We're doing damage. We need Chaos to maintain physical assaults here. Another swing. Lightning 2. We know that nuke is coming. 515. 497. This Chaos has a ton.
He's got to be praying.
There it is.
Prayers were answered.
5 hits, 378 on Wings and a Prayer. Ragnarok gets through that Chaos, and Jazz giving them the GGs and the SRL room. Get those GGs and chats for Rag. And I'm going to get Ragnarok to come talk to us.
Actually, I think we already got Rag here.
There he is. Hey, GG, Ragnarok. Can you hear us? You might be muted. Ragnarok, can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. GG's, man.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
Hearts in my throat, man.
That was a hell of a race. You beat Jazz into Topher by maybe a minute or two. He beat you into the air probably by like 5 minutes, and we didn't think you were going to go back for the caravan. Talk to me about your strategy through that Topher. You had 1 ribbon, an ice sword, a katana, no life magic,
And a prayer.
Yeah.
No defense sword either. I had no ruse. Just the white shirt to get up in the gym.
And
I was solely keeping that ninja there, and that's the reason why I went back led to the loader, so I could get that katana wielding ninja up, because I figured that's going to be damage. My sword isn't going to cut it too well.
Hello. Hey, JazzRaptr, and JazzRaptr forfeited from the race. I mean, you can't blame him. That was heartbreaker. So Ragnarok was talking to us through his ice sword Topher dive strats.
My gosh,
I did not find anything better.
So, JazzRaptr, tell him what you found in the marsh cave, because Ragnarok never went there.
Marsh Cave, we found double ribbons.
Okay.
That's about it, but that was pretty good.
I've said it 1,000 times already. Never overlook Marsh Cave.
That's why I like this Q guy. Team Marsh first. And then, so Ragnarok, so there was a lot of interesting parallels in the seed. Ragnarok took an early wipe to carry. Jazz, you took the wipe to Kraken 1.
Oh, no. I didn't take a wipe to Kraken 1. I took a wipe to the waters after Kraken.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah, that's right. Ragnarok took a wipe on Warmech. And as he was reclimbing the tower, you were climbing the tower for the first time.
Okay.
And you both hit Sky 3 around the same time, and you started opening boxes, and we were like, okay, Ragnarok is now on the Sky 3, he's on the teleporter floor, and you're still opening boxes, and we're like, okay, the top 4 got nothing. Go to the 6-pack, and there's the Masa, and it's just like, well, so Jazz in a clear gear advantage here, 3 ribbons, Masa, levels are about the same for the both of you. You both took eye fights, and throughout the sea, I think both of you went there twice, and maybe 3 times, and it was a fascinating watch because like Jazz, you took 2 nasty wipes and Topher, not to the bosses.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, so there were unrunnables after each of the boss. The first one was Kraken after the waters we were talking about, and then after Tiamat, just steps away from getting to chaos.
Yeah,
we end up with like the zombie pack or whatever. Not the zombie,
the vampires.
Yeah, you got it. And then they were unrunnable, or they weren't unrunnable, but I was down to 1 man, and it was a choice between like trying to kill them or running.
Yeah,
and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, that was tough. And then because Ragnarok hit that party too, and was able to he had turn order and was able to get the runoff on his first round. But I'm sorry, I guess I misspoke earlier. When you took your wipe to Kraken, it was on Kraken 1 that I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, you got it, man.
Yeah.
Kraken 1, I did bounce off Kraken 1 first, and then I decided I'd try to figure out if this chain would end up with a class up, and thankfully it did.
And there was a lot of heads up routing there. If you watch the VOD back, you'll see me clutching my pearls over some of the ways you guys were managing your gear. Ragnarok was a little bit better at what I was like asking you guys to do, but you had the ice armor, ice shield, and you had flame armor, and you didn't do the flame ice combo because you didn't have the ribbons. And I was like, well, it's probably not that big a deal, and I think the only thing I was harping on Jazz for was you gotta equip the power bonk, man, especially if you got the ribbon.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah, but overall, but overall, it was strong running. I mean, like both of you guys coming into your own during this tournament, and we're talking about the matchups you guys have had, and it has not been an easy road. And both of your records, 3-2 for Ragnarok, 2-3 now for Jazz, are not indicative of the level of play. Like you guys just keep catching some of the nastier sharks in your respective pools, and it's been a lot of fun to watch you guys race. So I'll let you talk about your experience with the sea, because I can just talk and talk and talk.
Can I get something in edgewise, please?
Sure, go ahead, man.
I've been holding on to this question ever since the match started. Do you guys feel any level of regret of deciding to go with whatever the seed rolled as far as a party? Because no white mage made this really interesting, and I want some dirt on this.
Well, we originally drafted, and it came out fighter, white. Jazz got we rolled in the thing. Jazz got the first pick. He picked. So I fired back fighter red, and he came back with fighter. And that was the original.
Yeah.
And so we got together later. It's like, we basically want to make this a dumpster fire seed and just go with first whatever the seed roll.
Yeah, I think that, so do I have any regrets about playing a seed that just came as it was? No, actually I don't. I think it was a lot of fun. It put a lot of challenge on it. Would it have been a lot easier with a white mage? Probably. I would say that's accurate.
Yeah. Yes, I think that would have been a lot easier with a white mage.
Yeah, but I'll back you guys up on the 4 force. It's something that it's a play style that I like, because it forces you to adapt on the fly. Like a draft, like a standard draft, the 1-2-2-1 sort of format can almost be predictable, and it's gonna have, it's either gonna be a joke party or you're gonna land on something kind of decent. Whereas 4 force, you might just end up in a situation where Fighter None Thief Black isn't something out you think isn't a very intuitive draft. Like, so it's going to put you outside your comfort zone. It's going to make you use some strategies that you may not normally use with like a typical party, and it's becomes more of a test against your opponent and their ability to adapt than just whoever is lucky and finds the loose item first, And speaking of loose items, how'd you guys feel about the 2 loose just in your natural pathing?
Well, I mean, the useless slab.
Yes, we don't know what slab or bottle turned into. We just know that it was likely Opal Bracelet and Thor Hammer. We just didn't know which one went to what.
Oh, bottle probably turned it. That fairy loves her.
And those Lefenians love their cereal, so that's fair.
Yeah, actually, it was kind of nice to be able to have it right in the way. You get to that no mode situation, you're like, okay, at least I can start running and it will be okay. But then we never found a weapon, like, ever.
Yeah, and like I said, obviously the Masa was the best one we found. We never found defense. We never found a Vorpal, Excal, Sun Sword. It was Ice Sword or Masa, or we did find 2 katanas for the ninjas, but yeah. Well, GG's to both of you. Q, do you have any other questions before I pass it to him for final thoughts?
Well, just a quick question I normally ask everyone. Who would you like to see in your next match?
Yeah, week 6 Chaos Week around the corner. Ragnarok will be playing for a 4-2 to hopefully get out of the last chance qualifier, while JazzRaptr is going to have to be playing to make it into the last chance qualifier. Is there maybe like a friend or somebody like that you're friendly with in the community that you're looking forward to seeing or doing some goofy strats with? We'll go to JazzRaptr first.
I don't know who's in the 2-3 matchups right now.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of races to be determined. But if there's anybody out there that you would like to race, because this was an Iron Goal match, we talked a little bit about that. So
I forgot about
you can challenge anybody you want to an Iron Goal race.
That's fine. Yeah, I think Ale's coming up with my next matchup with Iron Gull. We're gonna do a theme on like Lord of the Rings.
Nice, that's awesome.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I think I saw that you're gonna throw the Opal Bracelet into the volcano.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And then we're gonna down the fighter Boromir in before we get out of the inlet, and then we're going to to down Gandalf in the Marsh Cave, which is gonna be Moria.
That's awesome. Okay, Ragnarok. Who are you looking to catch in the Chaos Week?
If I'm not completely mistaken, LFB is in...
Lord Fizzlebeef hasn't raced yet, so he races I think tomorrow. But if he, I think he's 3-1 right now. So if he loses to Tarnin, you could catch Lord Fizzlebeef. That's Tarnin Lord Fizzlebeef is going to be a good match.
Sorry,
you're kind of breaking up just a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Tarnin or LFB, Danny, Gouda. I'd love to see any of them.
Awesome. Yeah. So
well, there's a chance you might find Henry Canuck.
Hey, we have to do with that too. Where you sit next?
I have my race with Show on Sunday, so that will be when I lose to Show, I'll be 3-2.
Okay, well, if you lose the show, I wouldn't mind having you on day. Maybe I'd join your little podcast.
Yeah, man, that'd be a lot of fun to have you on. But all right, so Q, if you don't have any other further questions, I'll pass it to Jazz and then to Ragnarok for final thoughts, and we'll get Speed Gaming 3 their channel back.
Certainly. Go ahead.
All right. Jazz, what final thoughts, man? Spring tournament week 5 coming to a close for you. How you feeling about?
I'm feeling good. I enjoyed this quite a bit. It's been a couple of hard matchups back to back for me just yet, but I had a lot of fun. And Ragnarok, you're an amazing player, so I don't feel bad about losing to you. So, okay.
Awesome. And Ragnarok, our first place finisher. Final thoughts.
First things first, definitely want to give a shout out to JazzRaptr. He's come a very long way. I've watched a few of his past VODs here recently to get prepared. Very, very great. GG to you, man.
Thanks.
Always a shout out to Speed Gaming and their community.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Crew as well. And I'm not going to butcher that.
Just call me Q.
Yeah, that's what I did. I tried pronouncing it at the beginning of the top of the broadcast, and I fell on my face.
Right. You got the first one right.
Skinty?
Sesh Kunti.
Sesh Kunti.
Yes.
And always, I'm going to hope you make bank on that and get into the 4-2 and no last qualifiers.
All right, man. Well, best of luck to you. So, big thank you to MG Weirdo for tracking the action for us behind the scenes, to my broadcast partner, Sesh Kunti Kustuin. It's been a pleasure doing comms with you. To Speed Gaming for broadcasting us, for you watching us here on Twitch, for you watching us on YouTube later. Don't forget to join the Discord, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. There is a link to the Discord right there. Come get in, signed up for the Duck Derby. It's going to be a lot of fun. Learn the game. Have Greggly Puff teach you his ways through the 8-week boot camp. And we'll see you guys next. Oh, wait. Before I go, let me tell you what else is happening now. We got more races going on. Right now, currently, it started at 7 p.m. Eastern on Speed Gaming Prime. We have Kitty Star and Courant. That's another one of those duckling matches. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And then later on tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern on Speed Gaming 3 on this very channel, you'll get to watch JazzRaptr going down. That's going to be me and Jack calling that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then at 10:30 Eastern on Randomania, Ex-Russian Bishop, Hypes Nova, and another battle of 2 and 3s. That's going to be a lot of fun. Cheese Nader, Ilmar Zubermuller, and Ash are going to be on crew for that one. So be sure to be following Speed Gaming, their family networks, Randomania, all those wonderful channels that support the Final Fantasy Randomizer community with all these wonderful broadcasts. RPG Limit Break's another great one. But until next time, we'll see you around. Good night.